538, week 538. And hopefully y'all hear me clear. I got this face mask on, but I'm still trying to get rid of this cough that just takes control at night. So again, thank you guys for your time. Again, this is West Wednesday, week 538, and we're on Green Mountain 33rd right now, and it always feels good, yeah. And so are the cops, and so are loud vehicles that make noise around Cancer. It's interesting, as always. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I just wanted to start off by talking about my brother just a tad bit. My brother Tyrone West was executed right here literally 10 years ago, 538 weeks, and the pain has never changed. The pain is still the same. In fact, to me, it's worse because I used to always try to, like, picture, like, after 3 years, how am I going to feel? And then now you're talking about 10, and I feel horrible because my brother's study missing out on things that he should be here enjoying. Like my eldest daughter's birthday is literally, and I always give her a shout out at 12 o'clock, but it's tomorrow. And I just remember being in labor with her for 36 hours. 36 hours of labor as a teenager. Thought I was gonna die. Like it was just weird. Like so, yeah. But just and I feel like he would love to be here to celebrate his niece's birthday. Not just his niece, but all the holidays that's coming up. His children, his family. I know that he's missing his children, and I think about them all the time. And it's just sad because he has now a host of grandkids, beautiful grandkids, that he will never ever get a chance to spend time with down on earth. And as we know, next week is Thanksgiving, and my brother was a holiday type of guy. And I just remember him burning up his first turkey, and it was just funny. And I'm gonna save that story for next week or whatever when we go online or whatever. We will be online next week. And if anything changes, it's a slight chance we might be outside, but for the most part, I think we're going to be online. But anyway, I pretty much wanted to send like all my love and everything for Hunter's family, and he was the latest victim that was executed by, to me, the GTF. They just changed their name to the DAT, and to me, I call them the Daily Action Team. I don't give a damn what those letters stand for, but to me, the Daily Action Team in full effect. And the thing that I wanted to talk about tonight, and it's so sad, we have another family buying a decent human being, someone that was known for the community as being a community helper. If he seen somebody, that was in need of rent money, he would actually put up his own money and give them a couple dollars. He seen somebody needing help carrying their groceries, he would carry. I heard so many good, good tales about him. And it's just so sad and disgusting that another young man is brutally murdered. But it's just sad because in these instances, and I feel like, and me and my sister said it yesterday, and it's like me and her on the same accord. I feel like, and she feels like, we both feel like that once this case hits the fan and the real stuff come out, to me, it's going to be exactly like what happened in Freddie Gray's case, where Freddie Gray case kind of just straggled along or whatever, but it wasn't until intimate details, and it wasn't until that video came out. That's what like sparked up everybody. You know what I mean? But and it's just sad because in my brother's case, when he was executed, there also was a video. And 10 years later, we still don't have the video. 10 years later, we still don't have accountability. 10 years later, one of the first cops that started murdering my brother, Officer Barnett, he literally started murdering my brother. And pretty much, he is now married to a state's attorney, Michelle Battle. How fast that you get to marry a state prosecutor, a killer cop, marrying a state prosecutor, and my brother's case can't be tried or anything on it. This is all this foolishness. We think about reopening. I've been looking for that for 10 years, and it still hasn't happened. Every time I feel like I'm getting close to it happening, something always come in. But at the end of the day, I don't even care if it do or don't happen. Nothing's gonna never stop my love. Nothing's gonna never stop me fighting. Nothing is never gonna stop me from telling my brother's truth. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And now I'm going to shift over to all the victims of police brutality and murder, and then even the surviving victims. Right now, it's a hard time for everybody. Like I said, the holidays are coming in, and that's the time people feel the most saddest because there's a missing, an empty seat at the end of their table where their loved one is supposed to be. And Hunter's family, literally, instead of them preparing to have a nice feast with a nice young man that was very helpful in the community, a beautiful soul. Now they're planning his funeral for this Friday. That is disgusting. That is horrible. But the most part to me that's worse than all that is the way that the racism just sticks out and always shows its ugly head. And I'm talking about the head of you guys, not mine, but you guys, Commissioner. Commissioner Worthless Worley. I said it. This is not the West Coalition speaking. You see me with the mic. This is Tawanda Jones speaking from the heart. And the reason why I call him Worthless Worley, he never did anything when he had control over Northeast Police District. He took control 140 men and women in blue. He literally was at the scene of where my brother was murdered. And even he said that scene was horrific to him. But then in the same breath, he turns around and says he never saw a bad cop. How in the hell do you go to a scene where an unarmed man was brutally pepper sprayed, tased, kicked, maced, hit with open fists, with I don't even want to get into it because it's too traumatizing. But someone was executed, beat to death in broad daylight with many a witness to see this. He wasn't in a dark alley where no one could see, and they did this. They did this in front of a whole entire community, right? And Worley was in charge from Northeast District. Didn't do a damn worthless Worley. Didn't do a damn thing then, and ain't doing a damn thing now. But the biggest part, I want to read a statement that he had the nerve, the audacity. The audacity when you talking about someone gunned down in broad daylight in the afternoon. They just murdered this execution happened around 12:30. Horrible. Gunned down to the point they found over 50 shells cases all around. And this is what Worthless Worley said. I'm going to quote it. Give me 2 seconds. Horrible. All right. So, in the immediate aftermath Tuesday shooting, Police Commissioner Richard Worley, Worthless Worley, defended the officer's actions, saying they yelled at Jessup multiple times to drop his weapon. This is another example of our officers doing a great job at apprehending an individual who was armed, Worley said at the scene Tuesday. And police leaders often commend officers for getting illegal firearms off the street. I don't even want to read no more, but that was enough. He actually, I'm going to read that part again. This is another example of our officers doing a great job apprehending an individual who was armed. You talking a shame. Disgusting. You gonna say that after this young man was executed. We don't even know how many times he was shot. And for you to say a great job, let me tell you, you piece of shit. Excuse my party word, but every time I cuss, it comes from a passionate place in my heart. I got 25 cents. There goes Shorty trying to fuck me up for foolishness. But anyway. Tables. Anyway. But for him to say something as heartless as that, even Commissioner Harrison wouldn't have said nothing that heartless. Even when, and I have seen several cases where people were gunned down in front of, murdered or attacked, and Commissioner Harrison at the time never said nothing disrespectful like that. Never ever. Never ever say anything disrespectful like that to your family that's grieving. At the end of the day, you have to consider everyone. You have to consider first the victim's family. That's come first. Then you have to consider the neighbors and people that saw them, right? His family, the community. You have to consider everything. And for you to come out there at a time such as that, immediately and say, good job. So you think it's a good job for someone to be executed? You are a worthless piece of crap. That's what you are. Disgusting. Disgusting, disgusting, disgusting. That is a shame. If it was your child, son, it was your son, would you have got up there and said, oh, they did an excellent job? You're cheering them on to murder us. Shame on you. You're giving them the green light to murder us. The license to kill. And then the sad part, no one, and the first thing that tells me that this young man, even with a weapon, alleged weapon, which I don't believe, that just like the gun trace task force was planting weapons on people, what's the difference from your deadly action team? What's the difference? So I don't believe it. But even, let's say, for instance, if this young man had a weapon, because number one, A, nobody's safe walking in certain areas, right? Especially black young men, women, and children. Let's be crystal clear. With all the carjackings, the robberies, the this, the that, right? No one's safe. So let's say, for instance, he was carrying a piece on him, just so that way if somebody try to hurt him, he can defend himself. Not shoot at the police, not go around killing nobody. But hey, if it comes down to my life with somebody else's life, they trying to take my life, I'm not going out like that type of thing. That's different. And he see officers, and the first thing he do is run. Y'all always kill out guys while they running away. And the first thing you say is, I fear for my life. And because a clumsy officer fell, that gives you a right because a clumsy officer fell, got a little blood on him from his own self. Had nothing to do with Hunter. Because nine times did you ever say Hunter fired his weapon at us and we fired back. I done seen you say white people that fired at police officers over 200 rounds and you never did nothing. You never did anything. I remember, and I can't quote the story, but it was a Caucasian fella that killed his girlfriend's dog first. Then he was in the whole community, hiding behind his truck, and he let off 200 rounds shooting at the police. They did not fire one shot. They didn't fire any shot. They allowed this person to go in his home, to go call 911, to get his own self happy and to say, hey, I'm ready for y'all to take me in. That's what I'm talking about. But here you got Hunter, who ain't fired nobody. But you think about 200 rounds. Imagine how long does it take to actually keep on reload and keep on going and going and going and going and going, right? That's a long time. And for you to have that type of restraint that you can hide and you don't fire one shot, you don't let off a taser, you don't do anything. You hold your peace. But it's interesting when it comes to us target us. You stalkers, you guys are predators. You are predators. You stalk your prey. And when you find the right moment, the right time, you come in for the kill. You ain't trying to stop nothing. It's sad that, okay, we can't even say it was a traffic stop. First of all, no one deserves to be executed for a traffic stop. The so-called crimes that you are murdering us, bringing us the electrical chair, the legal, like illegal, where they used to kill people, when they give you the death penalty, you bringing that straight to us. It used to be called the illegal injection, where you stop everybody, their heart and all that. You bringing that right to us for nothing because of our skin color. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And before I pass the mic, it's just so sad that I can't even enjoy nothing. And it's so sad that when I see something that is unfair right before my eyes, I can't just turn around and be like, oh, I'm gonna be quiet. I always try to mind my business. But when I see something wrong, I'm gonna say something. That's just me. You see something wrong, you say something. And I'm literally trying to enjoy my lunch break yesterday. Everybody know I love to eat. Yesterday, I'm trying to enjoy my lunch break, minding my business, me and my coworker. We go down the cafeteria, and inside of our cafeteria, there's a Subway in the inside. So I'm like, do we want Subway or do we want cafeteria food today? She's like, I want a cold cut. I'm telling her, okay, let me get my little meatball sub. We go in there. There's a Caucasian female. But as I'm walking in, I never saw nothing like this in my life. I saw this big hot pot that they brought out the back and literally dumped this sizzling hot on her wrist. And I'm like, oh my God, like I got excited because I'm looking at food. And before I got upset, I was excited because I'm like, damn, that's a lot of meat. Then she kept rolling, then she kept rolling. Then she did it again for her husband. The husband's son was even bigger than that. Then my friend Carla, she gets up there with her little flimsy. She got on the car and said she want a cold cut. This man literally put 4 pieces of meat on her. So not even 4, not even 3. And then he was going to fill her sub up like she ordered a salad. Like he's going to put all this damn lettuce on it. Like, are you kidding me? So I started talking. I'm like, let me take. I was like, wait a minute. What they got extra meat or something? I'm like, that price better be expensive. So I go over there. I look at the price. 2 big ranch, a big jumbo lemonade, $15 on like 87 cents. I'm like, whoa, this got the hook up. And it was to the point the white lady got so nervous she left her credit card inside of the machine. She was like, she had time for the shenanigans. She was like, oh my God, it's like she just looked it off to it. I said, no, nothing to you. I said, use your white privilege, sis. I'm just saying. I just want to see her stuff. And then it was the fact that I went in there 2 weeks ago to get a meatball sub. They trying to put 3 meatballs on my sub. I'm like, oh no. I get a meatball sub. That's the only thing I get from you guys. I know 4 come on there. On the little, I know how many come on there. You treated me on a meatball. She got real nasty and packed my meatball on. But you feel this whole one, then it's the same lady. And she felt this white Caucasian woman sub. And it just broke my heart. Because it's sad we can't even get treated right when we go to restaurants, stores, anywhere. Racism always sticks its ugly head out and peeks at us. And I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, so I'm going to pass the mic. My check! Before I talk about this egregious case out of Mississippi, which is what I brought to the table tonight, I just wanted to point out that quote from Worley basically is just cementing that he's expecting his men to kill black men. He's expecting it. Like, he's saying, great job and taking down an offender and getting a legal gun off the street or whatever. First of all, how do we know the gun was illegal? Did y'all check the system before you went running after Hunter Jessup? Yeah, well, that's most likely what it was a gun drop. So yeah, we know like pretty much these district action teams are just rebranded GTTF. They should just be called like Deadly Assassin Thugs. That's what DAT stands for, Deadly Assassin Thugs, because they've already. Well, give me another T word. Twits.
That's us. We got that. Y'all can't confiscate our word.
Terrorist. Okay. Yeah. Deadly Assassin Terrorist. There you go. That's what DAT stands for. There ain't no district action. The action is shit that they create. See, they create these scenarios. He was minding his own business, walking down the street, minding his own business, and they say, "Oh, he exhibited signs of an armed person." How come white people never exhibit signs of an armed person? You never ever hear this terminology used when it's a Caucasian person. Never. When have you ever heard of it being a white person gunned down? You don't even hear of that happening, let alone they were exhibiting signs of an armed person. When you got a bunch of white people going into the fucking Capitol in Michigan, They were definitely exhibiting signs of armed people, and the security in there and the state troopers in there were just standing down, letting them look for Gretchen Whitmer, letting them look for her, because they were trying to freaking kidnap her. So you tell me, like, if this shit ain't obvious. And it just also proves that Worley is a white supremacist. Yeah. That's why Harrison didn't let shit like that come out of his mouth. That's why. Because Worley is a white supremacist. Anne Arundel County living white supremacist. And he's upholding the origins of policing in America, which generates from slave catching. So that's what I wanted to say about that. Like, just, he basically gave them license to kill through the streets of Baltimore. All right, so this case in Mississippi is fucked up, y'all. Sorry, it just is. Okay. I don't know if this man's name showed up on any of our lists, because this happened a little earlier in the year. Okay, but his name was Dexter Wade. W-A-D-E, Dexter Wade. So the family of Dexter Wade said a federal investigation is needed after they were notified that his body had been exhumed from a pauper's field before they could even hold any kind of ceremony. Okay, so now listen to this. Now, Ben Crump is involved, Trauma Vulture. So yeah, I needed to put that out there. But I'm sorry, this is like acting crazy, because they're probably over there interfering. Leave the internet alone, fucking jerks. Yep. Okay, so what? I'm just gonna paraphrase because I read the story yesterday. So what happened was this man was run over by a speeding police vehicle. Okay, they killed him. He died on impact. He had ID on him. He had a wallet. He wasn't homeless. They ran him over and killed him, and then hid his body through the medical examiner. And the medical examiner was like, "You need to find this man's family because you're the cops. That's what you're supposed to do." And the medical examiner just kept calling them, like, "You find his family, you find his family, you find his family." Nope, nope, nope. This went on for months. The day after he was hit, his family didn't know where he was, so they filed a missing persons report. So now there's a missing persons report in the system. They know that this man is at the medical examiner's, but that a cop killed him. So they were literally hiding his body and then buried it in a pauper's grave, unmarked. So then the family finally finds out, like, through, I don't know how, but like some freaking miracle, they found out what freaking happened. And then the state was like, "Oh, well, we'll exhume him for you and whatever. Like, you don't got to take that on. We'll exhume him or whatever." But they did it without notifying the family when. They didn't allow the family there at the site. And then they transported him away from the site and still didn't let the family know. So, like, this family is still like, what the fuck? Like, they have no closure or whatever. So now, of course, they have an attorney, but they want the Department of Justice to step in. Like, what is this? Like, they're literally hiding bodies in unmarked graves. And they knew who this man was. He literally was not a John Doe. Like, they knew who he was. And they just, I guess, maybe were covering up for the cop. They didn't want him charged for vehicular manslaughter. But yeah, this case is so freaking crazy. And the family is just like, I guess the only way we're going to get anything is by suing. And that's just like the way it goes. But you know what? They ain't going to bring this man back.
and it isn't going to get them those months back. Like that they've literally hit now. Can you imagine? You're driving down the road, you're speeding a little bit, you hit somebody, and you're like, fuck. So then you drag the body off the side of the road, dig a fucking hole and bury him, and then drive off. That's basically what happened.
Hey,
Now, if one of us would have did something like that, do you know, like we would be under the fucking jail. We would be under the jail. They'd be busting in our freaking houses, holding guns to our head, like, you crazy ass, like burying a dead body. But they do this shit on the regular. And I couldn't help but think about what you went through. Like having to get her brother's body exhumed, and then all of the foul play that was associated with that. So we know that this shit happens. And I don't know if y'all know this, but there is a island outside of New York City that's supposedly a pauper's graveyard. But the same shit happens there. They just willy-nilly kill people and then bring them over there and dump them. Don't even try and find family members. So this happens all across this country, not just racist ass places like Mississippi and Alabama and Kentucky and all them freaking places. It happens up north, it happens out west, it happens everywhere in this country. And people need to be cognizant and realize that this is happening to minorities. This is happening to Black people. This is happening to Indigenous people. This is happening to Latino people. This is happening to Asian people. This is happening to Middle Eastern people. And if you ain't white, you ain't safe. You ain't safe.
White woman.
So,
White senator.
so I just really wanted to highlight this story because the family is just now going through all this stuff. And I have no idea, like, if they ever reported it as a police killing. So I think, did I say the first name was Derek? I know the last name was Wade. Yeah, Dexter Wade. So I just wanted to uplift his name and just send light and love out to his family because his mom is really, really a mess going through it. So rest in power, Dexter Wade. Mic check.
Mike check.
And thank you, sis. That's the way. Thank you, sis, for sharing that. And it just goes to show you that they can do whatever they want to do. And I'm going to say it again. They can do whatever they want to do. Like, how the hell do you murder someone and you get to bury them and nobody get arrested? What the hell is going on? Like, everybody needs to question themselves. And now they getting more bolder and bolder because the police used to watch us from a distance. They all the way up at the end of the gas station. That's why I told Rachel, focus in on them. Focus. Focus, yeah. Focus. Focus. It's disgusting. While you watching us, you should have been watching Brooklyn Homes. All they needed was one of you. You could have rolled down to Brooklyn Homes when they had that massacre. Well, y'all probably was the ones that were shooting it up. Shame.
Shame.
Like you ever watch some peaceful protesters that's out here every week for 538 weeks peacefully. You want to watch us like we criminals? Y'all are the criminals, sir. Or madam, or whoever the fuck you are. Fuck the police. Like, real. Like, I'm over it. Like, shame, how you gonna sit up there and watch us? But then meanwhile, you can't solve none of these unsolvable murderers.
There you go.
Murders that's happening in our city. It's over with. But that was really disturbing what my sister said. Like, this is 2023. And we ain't even got too much more longer of 2023 about to end. And this is still happening. They used to do that shit during slavery. Kill us, burn us on the spot, hang us from a tree, leave us out there for roadkill, all that. Wow, that's deep. To mass incarceration. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, look, that's crazy. It's the reality. But it's just that, like, my mind is blown. I cannot believe she just said that. Like, if I was that family, oh my God, because I know, and then for them to have the disinterment, the family's supposed to be there, but that's how dirty they are when they want to cover up stuff. Because literally, when I got my brother's body thing for $50,000 that nobody gave me, and I want my damn money back. Because if I had my money back, I would never ask nobody for a donation. I could have went and got my own nephew on my own. I wouldn't be in the negative right now if I had my damn money. I want every dime of my $50,000. Because I shouldn't have had to go in my pocketbook to uncover the medical David Fowler's foolishness. Literally, that's what they did to my family. And I even remember they had people at the cemetery taking pictures of me and my family while they was taking his coffin out. All I was trying to do is make sure that was his coffin because I remember I wanted to make sure and I still don't trust them. And then for them to do that, and then they say, oh, they couldn't even open up my brother's coffin and let us verify that it was him. And I had to send a family member out of town. I had to fly him out for him to verify because I told that pathologist, I don't even know if that's my brother. Let my cousin identify him. And literally, my cousin had to go through that gruesome scene. I couldn't imagine that. That's why I couldn't do it. So I wanted to go with him, but I didn't have enough money. I had to spend $50,000. Then I had to come up with, I think it was like almost $4,000 just to fly him out last minute. Back when they put him up in a hotel. I paid for that. That wasn't even the $50,000 that they robbed me for. Me, Tawanda Jones, me, my dollars. But going through that, and my cousin had to identify my brother. And I never knew that when you die, that your fingernails and your hair still grows. And when he said to my brother, this was 10 years, almost, what, this was like, I want to say 7 years ago, when we did all this, and my brother's hair literally was almost down his, like, back. Like, all the way down his back, it grew his fingernails. They said his fingernails were long. And I'm like, oh my God, I never knew that. And that freaked me out so bad. I never knew that. It's like my brother's hair still growing, nails still growing. And his case is getting colder and freaking colder and colder. Because they are allowing it. Justice delayed is justice denied. I'm not stupid. They can play all these games, passing my brother's case like it's a damn basketball, making us wait year after year after year after year while they put groups together, while they make up stuff. Stop keep trying to calm us, because guess what? It's gonna come a day and it's gonna come a time if y'all don't get this stuff right that you're not gonna be able to calm anyone. The only reason why y'all do the foolishness because y'all don't want an uprising. Y'all don't want that. Y'all don't want that in your life.
And you don't got Marilyn Mosby to call everybody
Exactly.
off anymore.
Exactly. And give a beautiful speech.
Nope.
And say, y'all hold your peace and I'm going to get y'all justice. You don't got all that crap and get delayed. Oh, he damn sure ain't. Damn sure ain't. Let's be crystal clear. Damn sure ain't. I said it. And it's sad to the point, yes, I'm talking about potential people that come, they not gonna keep blowing smoke up my butt. I'm not stupid. Even Wally, worthless Wally. Oh, if your brother's case get passed to me, I'm definitely gonna make sure get out my face, worthless Wally. Get out my face with that foolishness. They think they can tell us anything. And it's sad and disgusting. And you had our state's attorney one night. He disappointed a whole community and everybody. Because you didn't charge the killers that murdered a young man that was a queer, a baby, an 18-year-old baby, Darnell Rochester. You broke his mother's heart. And then you turn around 24 hours later and say, I'm not prosecuting the cops that killed, was that, let Keith Davis Jr. free. Which that should have been did a long time ago. And then still, even with that, those officers that gunned Keith Davis Jr. down, why ain't they been arrested yet? They should be in jail. They try to kill a man, and only difference from Keith and Freddie and my brother, Keith survived. That's the only difference. He survived. And then what? If once they survive, what you gonna do? You gonna bury them alive? That's what Marilyn Mosey campaign did. Trying to bury that man alive. But again, I'm tired of these politicians playing with our families. In one breath, you try to look like you're doing something good, right? And then in the same breath, you're doing something hurtful and disgusting. Stop playing with our families. And I don't care if y'all don't do nothing for me. Y'all ain't do it anyway. Y'all could have been doing something. I'm tired of having tears in my eyes. I'm tired of the game. So if you want to do something, do it because it's right. You ain't gotta like me. I don't care. We ain't even gotta like each other. But at the end of the day, Tyrone West could have been your son, your uncle, your child, your brother. But he wasn't. And we gotta stand out here in the cold and constantly relive a nightmare week after week. And the fact that we had rogue cops that repeat violent offenders, Ruiz and Chapman, the first two that showed up, repeat violent offenders, leading up. You ain't even have enough of decency for human life to put them killers behind the desk. Because all I keep thinking about was when they attacked Abdul Salam and even Darrell Harris. When I learned about him, 24 hours before they executed my brother, it was Darrell Harris. 3 blocks over. Same community. Predators. Looking for blood. Cowards. Coons. Punks. Excuse my language. That's what you are to me. Animals. Stinky animals. And I'll say it again. And I remember the time that I used that and I was out here. And that term literally followed me when my baby had an asthma attack. Her first asthma attack, rushed her to the hospital right around the corner. And I remember the officers, they knew me, but I didn't know them. And the first thing they say, oh, you might don't want to go back there. There's some animals around the corner. I'm like, what? And my baby's like, Tiana was young. She was like, Mom, you think it's a dog? And then what kind of animal? She was getting excited. I'm trying to calm her down for my asthma attack. And literally, it was animals. There was a bunch of cops around the corner, sitting there waiting, looking at me. And I said, y'all, so you don't know about this is human trash. So let's walk past the human trash, baby. Don't even look over there at those stinking animals. And I said it again. So I don't care if y'all don't like me. I'm gonna look y'all right in y'all eyes and tell y'all I don't like y'all either. Got that? Mic check.
Just one more thing. There was a case that just happened here with Anton Black's family, and this message is for Anthony Brown. Apparently, your office is pushing for families to get autopsies in a timely manner. Give Timothy Fleming's family his autopsy. It's almost going on 3 years? Almost 3 years. And they still have not had any autopsy. And everyone knows he was shot to death. It's just you're trying to cover up how bad you shot him or whatever. But Anthony Brown, get Timothy Fleming's family his autopsy so they can start moving towards closure. Mic check.
And I want to add to that. At this point, you really need to shut down that dirty, cruddy medical examiner's office free. Because even though fathers out there, it's still under his commands. They still doing the same exact thing. When is it going to end? It's the same thing over and over again. And y'all keep trying to feed us false hope. False hope. Well, we're going to clean this up. We're sending a special team. We got a team of doctors from around the world that's going to investigate all of these cases. I'm not impressed. Not at all. The day I be a little bit, just a little bit, impressed is when them killer cops is in a cell block. Anything short of that, get out my face. That's how I feel. And not only get out my face, get out of all of our faces with that foolishness. I said it, I meant it, and I'm here to stand and represent it. We tired of being tired. Decades later, y'all still playing the same game until it happens to your family. Because guess what? And y'all keep killing us all up. Guess what? Who you think they're going to turn on? Who you think they're going to turn on? Just think about that. Who do you think that they're going to turn on? Because once a killer is a killer is a killer is a killer. And I'll say it again. If you getting off on killing people and you're that messed up, and when you finish killing us all off, what you think is going to stop? No, they coming for y'all. Tighten it up now while y'all can. Or try to at least tighten it up, because it ain't going to never end, unfortunately. So this been going on decades and decades, 400 plus years ago. Same thing, same thing. It's just poor choice different. I guarantee you back then when they were getting killed, when before they had microphones out, all this stuff, they were just killing them. And they probably were talking about it too, walking the streets protesting. We're gonna get tired of protesting. We're gonna get tired of standing in Annapolis while the politicians fall asleep on us, roll their eyes at us, get on their cell phones, listen and laugh at our cases right in our face. Right in our face. I never forget the time I went to Annapolis and one of the murderers that murdered Freddie Gray was sitting there watching. Sitting there watching. And I'm so glad my friend JC saw me. He's like, wait a minute, ain't that Officer Porter? I'm like, hold up. And he had a seat on everything. I didn't even know that was that killer. Until my brother JC pointed him out. And then when he pointed him out, I looked and I confronted him. And he started getting nasty. And I put him slam on live. You see something, say something, put them on blast. But at the end of the day, enough is enough, y'all. While they're making the main focus these babies, everything is about the teenagers doing bad. The teenagers failing. And then they even started yesterday, I was shocked, they started talking about bike lanes. They're talking about everything but police brutality. Everything about all these unsolved murders. And they keep saying, oh, it's us. Show me it's us. Show me it's us. We can reach another year and then they like, oh, the crime down. I don't feel like it's down. I don't feel safe. I do not feel safe at all. And I'm just going to be honest. We need to keep our eyes on what's going on. Y'all need to be vigilant and alert. And the last thing I'll say before I wrap it all up. This system is designed to make us look like we're crazy, we're insane, we're angry, we're this, we're that. It makes us look like we're the bad guys. But I want you to imagine if it was you and your loved ones, if you were in your house with your family, the safest place ever, and some road cops come in there and terrorize you and your family, how would you feel? If it was your brother beat to death in broad daylight with video footage, and you never get the video footage, you never get accountability, you get nothing. You get nothing. If you were Hunter's family, a young man in the community doing nothing wrong, get gunned down, and a so-called worthless warley goes out there and says pretty much, Yay, cops, keep killing. Shame on you. And shame on anyone that support that piece of trash. He's worthless. That's not the West Coalition. That's all me, baby. Worthless, Wally.
All agree.
I said it.
I endorse.
I said it. So before we go on to the sad list, do anybody want to share anything or anything before we go on? All right. No, you ain't no sorry. I love it. Bring the fire. Do your thing, sis.
Sorry, talkative tonight.
No.
Okay, so yesterday there was apparently like some bills being passed in city council. And I don't know if y'all know this, but one of Nick Mosby, Mr. Clownface, one of his pet projects is supposedly affordable housing, but he's really bad at it. And I mean, they were trying to buy like $1 million homes in Florida before like they got caught with that crap. But you know, so he's really, really bad at the affordable housing stuff because like I think they said something like only 75 units have been created since like he took on this pet project. 75 in this whole goddamn city. But yesterday he's outside City Hall and he's got the podium set up and he's got the mic set up. And he's yelling into the microphone about whatever bill he wanted to get passed. So he's outside City Hall yelling into a microphone. Let's go in there and get these bills passed. Okay, bitch, how is that any different from what we did? How is it any different when you called us and insurrectionists? You equated us to insurrectionists for the same kind of fucking behavior. In fact, we were actually more timid. We were sitting there quiet. If it wasn't for Ryan Dorsey's ass calling us out, you barely even knew we were there. And it's just the fact that you wouldn't let us talk and you took the mic from us and you gagged us is when we got loud. So that's why I want to know, Nick Mosby, how is what you did yesterday outside City Hall any fucking different than what we did? And are you an insurrectionist? Are you an insurrectionist? Are you a terrorist? Mic check. I love it. They only want this mic because it's on fire right now. Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes. And I'm so mad we didn't know that he was going to be out there. Because I would have came out there and I might have kicked that mic stand over. I would have kicked it over. But,
Microphone. That's all the fucking.
yeah. Sure it is. Right, showing you love. Any old way. But for him to go out there and do all that loud stuff, we wasn't even loud about our stuff. But I'm so mad that we did not know that he was there. I'm so mad about that. So mad.
Well, let me say one thing. Am I interrupted? Since we're talking about city council and Nick Mosby, I just want to say one more thing about the time that we were down there. If you remember, those that were there, when we came down to testify against Megan Worley, the police chief, he said the rules don't allow it at this stage of the process. You are allowed to speak in the committee. But later in that same session, for something he wanted to do, he suspended the rules. When it was us trying to speak, he would not suspend the rules. So there's a general point here that's important to keep in mind, which is the golden rule. That is to say, those who have the gold make the rules. And he represents the capitalists and the big businessmen in this area with all the gold. And he makes the rules and he breaks the rules as he sees fit to serve his masters. So that's all I wanted to add. Mic check.
Yeah, they got this mic on fire. Between the Dean and Uncle Bill, yes, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. But one thing I want to say about Slick Nick, and I'm going to wrap it up. And I'm glad. I like that name better. I'm trying not to use party words, so I'll go back to Slick Nick. And she can add other stuff. But anyway, but the fact that you outside making all that noise at City Hall on yesterday, I'm so mad I ain't know about it. Cause we'd have been down there in your face. Definitely down there in your face. I would have called out for work if it was during the daytime. If I would have got news of that foolishness. But I just want to say, Slick Nick, you down there doing all that stuff, but yet you can't even support your wife in a courtroom. She has to sit there and fight for her life by herself. And you as a man, I don't give a damn if y'all going through a separation or whatever. The fact that's the mother of your children. The fact that any dime and every dime that came in, you helped her spend it, sir. The fact that you wouldn't even been in that position that you're in now if it wasn't from her. You rode on her coattail. Let's be crystal clear. So, Tyler, you couldn't even show up. Slick Nick for your wife, but you showing up at Poopy Hole, turning up. Turn up for your wife, dummy. And I'm going to leave it on that note. So, I'm going to read this disclaimer before we go into our fan list and show respect for the family. And, yeah, so I'm going to read this disclaimer. Give me 1 second, please. All right. It is our mission of the West Coalition to work for accountability for Tyrone West and all the victims of police brutality. We believe that there is a connection between police brutality and community violence. Police can de-escalate strategies to defuse situations without necessarily using force, and we encourage community members to resolve disputes without violence. We care deeply about the families impacted by police brutality and community violence. We seek to uplift the names of their loved ones from a place of respect and care. We obtained these lists and names of those shot and killed by police and those lost to the community violence from national and local news outlets. We know that these are by no means exhausted lists, and that gun violence isn't the only way that people are murdered. We do not obtain any information about the circumstances surrounding each of these deaths or the people who died. By reading these names, we are not condoning violent behavior on the part of anyone involved in a situation. You hear that, Slick Nick? We don't do that. You lied on us. You owe us an apology. But at this moment, we're going to take 2 minutes of time now. It's 8:05. Sorry we ran over time a little bit. But we're going to come back at 2 minutes. If you pray, say a prayer. If you don't, that's fine. Send only positive vibes this way for the family, because these are someone's family. These are our family. We are all brothers and sisters around the world, regardless of our race, regardless of our sex. Mic check. Mic check. Thank you guys so much. Mic check. So I'm gonna bring out Brother Brian for the community violence list. Mic check.
Okay, thank you, Tawanda. In doing this, I want to kind of circle around back to where we started and talk about Hunter Jessup for just a second, because what Worley said about that this was an excellent example and so forth. And we alluded to it a lot, but I want to say it outright that what happened there was a tragedy. And it doesn't matter if Hunter Jessup was unarmed or armed, or if he was in the process of shooting other people. Any death of a human being is a tragedy. And we need to be clear about that. And it's doubly a tragedy if it comes from someone who's supposed to be protecting life rather than taking it. And so, and so often we hear these things about, oh, well, you know, these are the community violence. It's all people who are drug dealers. It's all people who are this, that, and the other thing, and domestic abusers. And it doesn't even matter if that's true, because this is a tragedy. Each one of these people is a tragedy. And so I'm just gonna. We only have. There have been 6 victims since our last West Wednesday, but only 2 of the names have been released so far. And so I'm going to read those out, and if you could echo them back to me. Stephen Butler. Brian Richardson. Thank you.
Mic check. Now, Uncle Bill has the police brutality list. Mic check.
Check. Good evening. Over the 10 days from November the 3rd to November the 13th, we have 18 police killings. We're going to uphold each of the victims. First, in Escondido, California, on November the 3rd, killed by police, Douglas Quinn. On November the 5th, in Shreveport, Louisiana, killed by police, Fleen Miles. On November the 6th, in Lubbock, Texas, 21 years old, killed by police, Noah McGowan. Oh, sorry, the date's cut off. For the next person whose life was stolen by the police, it was in Walton Beach, Florida, 58 years old, Jose Medina. In Baltimore, Maryland, as we've heard, and we uphold this name particularly because we're familiar with this case, 27 years old. He turned 27 on October the 7th, and he was gunned down by the police exactly a month later on November the 7th. Hunter Jessup. And I'll just mention, when I spoke to his brother, I mentioned that at the event they held to honor him, the strong feeling for him was clearly evident. There were photographs of him life size, and friends and family members would go up and hug the posters and speak to the posters and cry to the posters. And I mentioned this to his brother, and his brother said, yeah, as Tawana mentioned earlier, that's because he was loved in the neighborhood. If he saw anyone carrying groceries, didn't matter if he knew them, he would help carry the groceries. As Tawana also mentioned, somebody was short on the rent, he would help them. So that's Hunter Jessup. One more time, Hunter Jessup. On November the 8th, the next day in Long Beach, California, 38 years old, killed by police, Heriberto Benalosa. November the 9th, Wasatch County, Utah, a man that's not yet identified. Ashe. And then, sorry, I didn't do this so well. I cut off some dates here. But killed by police in Sandy, Utah, 16 years old, not yet identified. Ashe. On November the 9th in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, 31 years old, killed by police, Ajani Owens Bay. Again on November the 9th in Headland, Alabama, 33 years old, killed by police, Cameron Easton. On November the 10th Monroe, Louisiana. We don't know the age. It was a man killed by police, Lance Levy. Next, killed by police in Austin, Texas. We know it was a man, but he's not yet identified. Ashe. On November the 11th in Fontana, California, another man killed by police, name not yet revealed. Once more on November 11th in Flowery Branch, Georgia, 57 years old, killed by police, David, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce the last name, Ravel.
David Upgrade.
On November 11th, yet again in Bluffton, South Carolina, 34 years old, killed by police, Anthony Barnhill. In Bismarck, North Dakota, 17-year-old young man, Nicholas Brewington. On November the 13th, in Mobile, Alabama, 16 years old, once again, a boy whose name has not yet been revealed. Ashe. And the last killing by police listed this time is in San Diego, California, 22 years old, a young man whose name has not yet been revealed. Ashe. For anyone not familiar with the word Ashe, in Yoruba, it means let it be so. And we say, let it be so that there's cell blocks for these killer cops. Mic check.
That whole list, both lists broke my heart. And as you see, the victims are getting younger and younger and younger. And it's just sad, it's tragic. And at the end of the day, just like my brother Boomer would say, we all we got? We all we got? So yeah, thank you guys so much. Big shout out to the West Coalition. Thank you, Brother Bruce, for coming out here. We normally see him online writing. And send my love to my sister Beth and everybody. Just thank you. Remember, live to laugh, love to live, and we will see you guys next week. Mike.